Hello everyone and welcome to Dragon's Crown Pro. So, in case you don't know what is Dragon's Crown, it's basically just like a looting action game. It's really fun, let me tell you. So let's begin. So there you have your characters.
All right.
You have the wizard, the sorceress, the knight or fighter, Amazon, the elf, and the dwarf. Every single one is different, and every single one is very unique. The closest one are the wizard and the sorceress, since both use magic, but even there, sorceress tends to be more like support. And the wizard is more like a very DPS. So even if they are kind of similar, they are different still. So I usually tend to go as a wizard. So kind of recently I started to use the sorceress, and it's really fun. So
well then,
here we go. Kind of name is Doris. Sorry if you named Doris, but what kind of name is Doris? So let's see. Where is the H? A reference to MTG, so here we go.
well then.
You seated yourselves and called for a stein of the finest mead. Your partner, Ranni, is in a particularly good mood. Quaffing the bar's spirits buoyed your spirits. When things are lively, Ranni will recount a certain tale. You were an adventurer, just starting out, and didn't know right from left. It was then that you first met.
I actually love a lot this game because one of the things that I really like is that there's a lot of reference to various things like mythology, what else? Even Disney, we will see that. There's a lovely reference to Monty Python. The good thing is that this game teach you very well how to use everything from the beginning. So yeah. I really love the animations of this game. And everyone is very different. Like the sorceress tends to be more,
Shall I open that door for you?
how do you call
The
it?
rogue Ranni inquired,
Elegant.
after appearing from
And
out of nowhere.
the elf is more like
He thought that it
rough
would be a simple matter
and
to
more
take
like
advantage of your
survival.
naivete and pocket some coin.
It's my turn.
Done.
Come on, friend Ranni.
Yes. Oh yeah.
A new one.
Enemies!
Easy.
Since that point, you've been journeying under mutually beneficial terms. You handle combat, and Rani handles locks.
First of all, I'm gonna change something. You can change the narrator. I'm gonna choose the sorceress because she's really fucking awesome. I don't know who the voice actor was, but she have a lot of fun doing that character. Let's begin then. Properly.
You came to Hydeland as an adventurer. Like many of your fellows, you strove to challenge the dangerous labyrinths here. The labyrinths were every bit as perilous as you'd heard. Most were lucky to have even their bones exit the ruins. You don't currently belong to the guild. I recommend registering. You can get jobs there and learn skills. Clad in full armor, the Guildmaster Samuel Joseph stands in the center of the guild hall like a statue. He appraises you with a look and dismissively states that only worthless adventurers leave their equipment in disrepair. Your travels thus far have left your equipment positively thrashed. You resolve to rectify that before returning. The Guildmaster directs you to Morgan's magic item shop. The magician is even able to repair magical equipment.
Very well.
To be deemed worthy by the Adventurers Guild, you must first repair your broken equipment. You conquer a labyrinthine set of stairs, and Morgan Lisley, shopkeeper and witch, welcomes you to her establishment. There is no objects repair which does not fall under her purview, from ornate magic staves to rusted axes.
Welcome to my shop. What would you like?
My was really trash.
Adventurers come here not only for repairs, but for appraisals and to purchase magic items. You will visit Morgan often.
That is truth.
Your equipment is now unmarred. You should return to the guild and see if the guildmaster deems you worthy.
Oh, Samuel.
Once again, the guildmaster Samuel Joseph stands in the center of the guild hall like a statue. With your equipment now in tip-top condition, you request to join the guild. Samuel issues you a test of skill. What will you do?
Sure.
Your test is to help a warrior named Roland. Samuel says that you can find him in the ancient temple ruins.
Roland the Barbarian?
To prove your mettle for the guildmaster, you head to the ancient temple ruins to assist the warrior Roland. A magic gate was recently found in the ruins on the outskirts of town. Use that to reach your destination.
Oh man, I really love this song. I really love this game. Like, the art is so beautiful. The music
Many
is so
things lie
beautiful.
within the ruins of the old Elysian temple. Some quiescent, some far less so. An ancient dragon spoken of in myths is said to have destroyed the Elysian civilization in one night. You liberated a fairy that was trapped in a cage.
I hope I do not see the
It's my
fairy
turn.
again. Wink, wink.
Done.
Bitch! What the hell? How dare ye?
You have made your way to Roland. At the guild's behest, he is looking for adventurers who went missing in the ruins. For you to pass your guild exam, you must help him. Roland tells you to search in the ruins that are submerged in water. Much time has passed since the missing were last seen. He tells you to bring back their bones if they are found dead.
One of the cool things about the sorceress is that she uses like necromancy. So eventually the bones are gonna be more useful with me that just
Oh, yes. Voila!
bring them back, you know? So you need to be careful around because usually there's treasure in
It's
the
my
walls
turn.
and everywhere.
Simple.
The Orc army is apparently getting here via the waterway. Their cargo is various articles from ships that have been reported missing.
I got it. Voila!
A lot of food. Man, she was hungry, huh?
It's my turn. Simple.
Oh, bonus. Not the spiders. What the fuck? I mean, sure, I understand that my spells are not exactly like too strong, but come on, what the fuck? Since when they can do that?
Standing.
Ah,
Let's
stupid
see.
bitch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Please. Oh.
They're here.
Too bad. That's what I needed. Woo, another bonus. Lucky day.
You have found the bones of a missing adventurer. Sometimes, the dead have been known to leave behind a message right before they perish.
So another thing around with this game is there's a lot of secrets.
As you investigate the wall painting, you detect that the area behind the wall has been hollowed out.
And you find treasure, but you also need to be careful because sometimes there are like very strong enemies around. So if you're not careful, you will die before you get the treasure.
I got it. Done.
What pretzel? Now I'm hungry.
Enemies!
Outstanding.
Well, at least I didn't die. Lizard Man. What you doing? Ooh.
I'll stop them.
Bitch! How dare ye? Ha 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 ha! Really, it's me. Unhandy. Ha 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 ha! Stupid bitch! So sometimes some enemies are more weak to some things. Like I think that the harpy is weaker to fire than ice. I mean also the fact that I am weaker, my spells are not exactly strong yet. Stupid bitch.
There seem to be more nests similar to this one spread throughout the area. You exit the area, taking care to avoid drawing the attention of any other harpies.
Come on. More, please. Ooh, a good one. Okay, so let's see. Let's check the loot. Okay, only two things are the best, which is this. I mean, sure. I could use everything else, but to be honest, no. It's kind of pointless.
You have fulfilled the request. Report your work to the Guildmaster. You return to the guild to report your quest. However, Samuel gives you an additional task.
Now what?
It is possible to resurrect the dead with their bones. He tells you to go to the temple to attempt the resurrection ritual. Canaan Temple is a temple dedicated to the worship of the goddess Althena. Proceed there immediately. You were ordered to attempt to resurrect guild members at Canaan Temple. As you enter, a kindly voice echoes from the back. You seem to be in need of help, a monk says, and approaches you. The prayer of the monks sometimes restores the dead to life. The goddess bestows mercy to those whose time has not yet come.
Wandering One, how can I help you?
So now you can have like party members. Let's take this one. which was the first one.
Allow this heart to beat again. Quench their thirst. Lead the wandering soul back. Reverse death. And awaken them. The prayer reaches the goddess, and the pile of bones is made new. The adventurer pledges their allegiance to you as thanks. Any adventurers you resurrect will wait for you at the inn. You can now fill out your party with those who are waiting at the inn. Please be aware that if you leave an area and one of your party has fallen, they will become lost. If you encounter any bones during your questing, be sure to bring them back and resurrect them so that they can assist you.
Gary!
Yeah.
Welcome, Gary.
You have fulfilled the request. Report your work to the Guildmaster. After delivering your report, you think you see part of a smile cross Samuel's face. You are now registered with the Guild.
Hooray!
You may now get cooperation from Guild members. They may participate in your party and help you in completing quests. The Adventurers Guild has a backlog of quests because many adventurers are occupied with the Dragon's Crown rumors. The king and his retinue left to find the Dragon's Crown and are missing. Many Guild members are now searching for them. The existence of this crown that supposedly controls dragons is disputed, but the king was obsessed with finding it. Samuel hurriedly assigns you a new task. You get the feeling that he deems you reliable and trustworthy. It's a request from this country's Prime Minister. The quest's details will be provided at the castle. You wonder about the lives of the powerful people in that grand castle. You happily accept the job.
Rich people.
You have a request.
So quests are just basically side quests. Here they ask you to do something that we already done. Unfortunately, since we already done, it's not exactly like it counts. It needs to be the quest first, then the thing. Otherwise, it doesn't count. Oh, I can do it already. Hell yeah. So one of the things that is very useful for a sorceress is the skeleton and the create food. Yeah, also this one is really good. Gonna put that one first, and I'm gonna put later this one.
You accepted a new request from the Guild. You must go to the castle for further details.
The spell, please. Hi.
Flanked by guards, you are led through the secure castle. Princess Vivian and Prime Minister Gustav awaited you. The Prime Minister speaks a lot, in contrast to the silent princess. He asks you to swear to keep this matter secret. The royal scepter has been stolen. A witness who saw the thief described him as Tommet, a known bandit. Your job is to track down Tommet and retrieve the scepter. Also, for the sake of the kingdom, this must be kept secret. Ranni whispers that he knows of this Tommet. He's well known and is based out of the old capital. You bow and leave the throne room. In order to retrieve the royal scepter, you chase the thief into the ruins of the old capital.
Let's find a new one. Actually, I can probably revive the other one. So let's bring a little bit of help. Not that we really need it, to be honest, but sure.
Wandering one, how can I help you?
Allow this.
I mean, it's sort of cheap. Time to go to the old capital.
These are the ruins of the ancient capital city. It was destroyed following an invasion from the Northern Empire. Now it is a dangerous place, full of dragons and wyverns.
So I usually tend to, at the start of the dungeon, tend to use the spell. It's a very good idea, so. So strong, the dwarf.
Outstanding. It's my turn. Done.
You're thinking.
You find the bandit Tomit in a hideout amid the ruins, just as Rani told you. It is said that whatever this man desires, by thievery, he can acquire. Rani asks, "Are you Tomit, the bandit legend?" Beaming, he displays his spoils and tells the tale behind each item. When you ask about the scepter, he says, "That was indeed I," and goes on to boast exactly how he got into the castle. When you inquire further about the scepter, he deduces your true intentions and darts away.
Damn it!
Pursue the thief,
Son of a
apprehend
bitch.
him, and reclaim the scepter. You cannot capture a target swimming underwater. Watch for your quarry to surface.
Here, fishy, fishy. Now that I think about it, I haven't seen any skeletons yet.
Oh, yes. Voila!
Also, you need to be careful sometimes because the bonus, because the chests
Oh, yeah.
sometimes are just traps, and you don't want to for your face to explode. So, yeah.
Oh, yes. Done. Oh, I can do that. Oh, my.
Moving on.
You can hear the sound of a woman crying on the other side. The wall here seems thin enough to break through.
Another secret. And a lot of darkness. You can barely see here.
Voila. Oh, I can do that.
Anything else? Moving on.
They're here.
The chest first.
It's my turn. Simple.
Come here, you son of a biscuit. Woo. Here we go. First one. I don't have any offensive spells, so... Actually... There you go. Get a little bit.
I'll stop them.
Come on, I need my magic, please. Aha! Burning! Okay, these guys are annoying now. Annoying! Stupid lizards.
You pin down Tomit, who is so stunned that he's actually been caught, that he cannot move. Relenting, he produces the scepter from his bag and hands it to you. You have
Really? Just
reclaimed
one
the
level?
royal scepter, stolen from the treasure room of the castle.
That's bullshit. Woo, a good one. Really good one. That's a good one.
You must deliver the royal scepter to the Prime Minister at the castle. Once again, you are led to the throne room under guard. This time, a man stands there with a presumptuous grin. The man tells you to hand over the scepter. You tell him that you don't know what he's talking about. The man's mouth transforms into a twisted grin, and he signals his guards. They inch closer, swords at the ready. What will you do?
Oh no.
You fall into a fighting stance. As soon as you steel yourself for battle, the Prime Minister and Princess burst in. The Prime Minister orders the guards near you to stand down. The man twirls his cape and leaves, as if nothing happened. You sigh, relieved that you didn't have to shed blood in the castle to resolve the problem.
What a bitch.
The Prime Minister tells you that man was Count Dean, the younger brother of the king. He is trying to usurp the throne. The scepter indicates the throne's heir. The Prime Minister says Dean had Tommet steal it to deny the princess the throne. The Prime Minister takes the scepter and narrows his eyes in satisfaction. He pays you for completing the request.
Really? Just that
The
for
fairy you
the
saved in
scepter?
the
Come
ruins
on.
appears before you. She seems to want to take you somewhere.
Where you want to go, Tinkerbell?
The fairy leads you into an old, ivy-covered tower. You find yourself in a cluttered room that seems to be a laboratory. Judging by the stratification of dust, much time has passed since anyone last entered this room. Letters amidst the shambles indicate that a magician named Lucane lives here. You find a message he penned on the desk. Lucane wrote that he was off to see a magician friend named Wallace in the underground labyrinth. The fairy uses various interpretive gestures to indicate that she wants you to find him. You accept her job request.
Fine, I guess.
You head to Wallace's underground labyrinth to look for the magician Lucane.
Wait, I don't have scepters? What the hell? Where is my armory? Level 5, both of them? Come on! Oh shit. Oh. No, actually, I think that one is better for the time being. And to repair my staff.
Welcome to my shop. What would you like?
Did I get anything?
Wandering one, how can
No.
I help you?
So let's bring some people.
Oh, yeah.
Surely.
You're back.
Any new
You
quests?
have a request.
Beastmaster, so we need to kill 10 enemies while riding a Dragon Slinsk or a Sabertooth. Sounds easy, but I don't think it's gonna be that easy. Jinx, sorry. I didn't mean to kick your ass. So let's go and find the magician.
This underground labyrinth is said to have been made in a single night with powerful magic. It is a dangerous place, replete with traps. It bars entry to all who would dare.
A living tree. That's basically a wooden golem. So, like in this case, fire magic will be better than ice. But yeah.
It's my turn. Done.
Go!
What do we have here? So this one is a trap.
I got it.
The trap was sprung, and the door magically closed fast.
So in
Slime
these
creatures are
cases,
weak
these
against
things
fire.
are weak
The torch
to
on the
fire.
wall can be used to great effect. The clink of metal hitting the ground
about
can
time.
be heard. You obtain a magic key to open the door.
Jeez. Where do you think you're going?
Let's see. Done.
Out of the blue, a mouse
Mickey,
darts out and
I mean,
leaps
what?
onto your palm. The rodent claims to be the apprentice of Wallace the magician. He says he was tasked with caring for the laboratory while Wallace was gone, but it is beset by malevolent magic users. When you ask about Lucane, the apprentice answers that his master's friend went into the labyrinth and hasn't returned. Your quest to find Lucane is delayed, as you attempt to liberate the lab for Ricky, the magician's apprentice.
I mean, it's an obvious reference, but this is one of the things that
The
I
door
like.
to the laboratory is through
Not
this
exactly
hall.
that I like Disney because I don't, but it's funny
It's my
how they
turn.
make a reference to many things.
Voila!
I'm gonna take you. If I find someone else,
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna use you. Coins.
Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Colors.
They're here.
Bitch, stop hitting me. So, as you can see, there's a chest there. That you cannot access. So it needs a pattern. Let's see if I remember. No. How was it? There we go.
Oh, yes. Oh, crap.
A trap. So yeah, shit happens from time to time, I guess. Damn, I really get hit, huh?
Let's see. Voila!
Because the laboratory was being misused, some of the experiments housed within have now run amok. There's been a population explosion
Mushrooms.
of mutated beings that spread their spores around. The labyrinth is overrun by fungi.
So this is another thingy that sometimes certain elements reacts to the environment. Like there's a store there, but you cannot go unless you burn it, like this.
Oh, yes. Done.
More mushrooms. Stop stealing from me.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. I got it. Simple.
Not the wasp, not the bee.
They're coming. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Snack for the roads. Let's see. Anything that I miss? Moving on then. Damn, I have no luck finding skeletons. Just one per level or what?
Enemies!
Stop running! Moving on. Here comes the boss.
Destroy the cocoons before they hatch, or they'll keep coming.
A little bit of help, please. Bitch. Die, monster. Step it
You
back.
found some bones that seem to belong to Lucane in the depths of the labyrinth. The tattered raiments and jewelry leave no doubt that the corpse is indeed Lucane's.
How well we find them dead.
You bring back the bones of the magician Lucane.
Sure, whatever, I guess.
You found Lucane, but he was dead. You imagine the fairy will be overcome with grief, but you need to return to her.
Oh, fairy.
When you enter the laboratory, the fairy frantically flits around you, as if it senses your uneasiness. Upon seeing Lucane's bones, the fairy enters into a panic. She begins tugging at your arm to get you to leave the tower. The fairy is apparently attempting to lead you somewhere. You collect Lucane's bones and follow her. As you enter, a kindly voice echoes from the back. "You seem to be in need of help," a monk says,
Again?
and approaches you. You nervously hand the monk the bones of Lucane. Allow this heart to beat again. Quench their thirst. Lead the wandering soul back. Reverse death. And awaken them. The prayer reaches the goddess, and the pile of bones is once again given flesh. Lucane, shocked to find himself alive, thanks you profusely. He tells you to visit him at his laboratory and leaves. The resurrected magician has returned to the old tower in town. You decide to see him to ask more details.
But first, I'm gonna resurrect the other one.
Wandering one, how can I help you?
I knew it was going to be a elf.
Allow this heart to beat again.
Let's see. Now we can finally use something better. This one. Then we have this one. That's everything right now. Oh,
The magician Lucane is waiting for you in the laboratory of the old tower. It seems that dying had an adverse effect on his short-term memory. Lucane can't remember why he went to meet Wallace. Lucane is researching magic called runes, which are closely tied to spirits and fairies. Lucane introduces his fairy friend to you. Her name is Tiki. She left the fairy forest due to her strong curiosity. He thanks you again for saving him and allowing him to enjoy life's rich pageant. He displays his magic trinkets. Lucane says that he'd be happy to sell you these items at a fraction of the normal price and answer any questions you have. What will you ask?
Tell me about Wallace.
The magician Wallace was an old friend of Lucane's. He was known as a great magician. He sealed that group, or myopia of Cyclopes, in a labyrinth and saved the land. He also mentored young magicians in his tower. He was also the king's trusted advisor, and Lucane trails off. It seems that Lucane's memory has failed him again. Before you realize it, Tiki is following you around. She seems to have taken a liking to you. She will accompany you on your adventures henceforth. Fairies are known to be adept at finding hidden things.
So now Lucane will sell you things.
Oh, how can I help you?
Usually
Which
there are,
one?
at this point, there are only like magic rings. But he will sell you other things later on. And now the fairy will tell you where you need to go.
A letter from the castle has come to you via the guild. It simply says to report to the castle in all haste.
You have a request.
Not yet.
You assume that the letter was sent by the Prime Minister. Perhaps he has another request for you.
Nice.
Count Dean is waiting for you at the throne room.
Not so
It
nice.
is he who sent the letter. After your previous encounter, you can only assume that he's up to something nefarious. You brace for combat. The guards have drawn their swords and are blocking the exit. Count Dean starts talking to you in a soft voice. He says that he has personally requested your assistance in performing a task for him. He wants you to scout Bilberon Fortress on the border. This underground fortress is a well-known structure. Originally built to defend against the Orc army, it now lies in Orc hands. Scout them and learn their invasion routes. It is a very dangerous mission, but refusal means that you will be at the mercy of Dean's guards. You accept. Per Count Dean's request, you agreed to infiltrate and surveil the subterranean fortress at the country's border.
And I didn't have any other choice. need to grab new stuff for me. But first, let's bring the...
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's bring some people. Actually, if you go without anyone, the game will give you some people anyway. So, yeah. Unless you choose to not take anyone and go alone,
You're back.
the game will give you some freebies. So let's see. Gonna need one. It's a very good one. And let's have a little bit of HP. Let's go to the fortress then.
The Orc army presently controls Bilberon, the underground fortress built into the canyon. The King's army has been mounting a fierce offensive to try and reclaim the fortress.
It's my turn.
I should be able to find lizard thingy. So I can do the quest.
You step into the enemy kitchen. A corpulent chef grabs a goblin instead of meat and suddenly stops. The cook, sensing your presence, stares directly at you. Luckily, her sight's not so keen, so she doesn't notice you. Eventually, the chef returns to her meat cutting. You use the goblin's screams to mask your escape.
Uh-oh.
They're coming.
Pay attention, guys. Gonna grab a bomb.
Outstanding.
Because well, I'm not sure exactly if he's close by, but the bombs will actually help to get into a secret room. So yeah. Nope. Don't touch it. So this room. Bitch. There he. Let me just eat a little bit. What the hell are you doing?
I got it. Simple.
Enemies!
Let's see. Voila! Filthy Luca!
Moving on. I'm gonna start grabbing more bones. Just because these guys are kinda weak now.
It's my turn. Done.
Ouchie.
Let's see. Voila!
I haven't found any lizard. Talking about. So hopefully it will not die. There we go.
They're here!
Outstanding.
Nice. 5. Oh, that didn't count. Moving on.
I got it. Oh yeah. Let's see. Simple.
Where did my skeleton go? Die? Weakling. Ah, wakey wakey.
Oh, I can do that.
Let's go then, please.
It's my turn. Oh, yeah. How bothersome. I got it.
Ooh, bonus.
Done.
Okay, the next part I remember there is a kind of a complicated and hard one because there's a lot of barrels with oil.
They're coming.
So fire attacks will make them explode. Ooh, first time extending.
Enemies!
It's my turn.
Quest complete. So fortunately, I have ice spells that will get rid of the fire. If I don't get burned first. Although it's kind of complicated. There we go. I mean, good thing that we have extra lives. I'm not gonna return. Let's go.
At the bottom of the stairs is an area connected to the sewers. This seems your most likely escape route.
A sweet roll. Like Skyrim. Okay, so let's see. This is a spell. Because the next enemy is not exactly like an easy one, sort of. So it's better if we try it again. If we have enough health. Easy little bull. Oh, little cow. Oh no, it's hanging out. Oh no! Oh no! No! Oh boy! And get the little ball. Come on, guys! Heal it already!
After defeating the Minotaur, you move through the sewer's filth. The reconnaissance mission went well. You gathered intel and slipped back across enemy lines. Among the treasures you claimed is the great sword of the hero Javelin.
Javelin. Okay, let's see what we have. Sure. Sure, we'll see what we can do with that. Sure.
You succeeded in acquiring intel on the underground fortress. This job will be completed once you report to Count Dean.
Account.
You report everything you learn to Count Dean. Unfortunately, you also mention the hero's legendary sword.
Damn it!
Naturally, he demands the great sword. But at least he's in a good mood now. He thought you'd just flee, but you didn't.
I mean, I cannot use swords anyway, so I don't
It
care.
seems that he thinks much more highly of you now. Dean confides in you some of the problems in the castle. Once the king went missing, the Prime Minister began recommending the Archduke MacNeil of Bolga to the throne. Bolga is an aggressive nation to the north. MacNeil is related to the King of Hydeland and has a legal claim to the throne. Count Dean claims that MacNeil has been rallying nobles in Hydeland to support his claim to the throne. That's why Dean hired Tommet to steal the scepter. He says that Tommet is extremely trustworthy, so long as he is paid.
Sure.
Suddenly, the Prime Minister and the Princess appear. It seems you are being watched. The Count glowers and departs. The Prime Minister warns you not to involve yourself any further. The Princess, as usual, looks back with blank eyes.
I wonder what's the meaning
Since
of
you
that.
completed the job at the castle, you return to the Adventurers Guild to tell them what transpired.
That's gonna be later. First, let's see who I can revive first.
Wandering One, how can I help you?
Okay, so you will be my team.
Allow
You can be my team. And sure, I guess.
Allow this. As you leave the temple, a ragged old man slumped in the road calls out to you in a gravelly voice. His raspy voice makes it difficult for you to discern if he's even speaking your language. You can give him a coin if you feel pity for him. Of course, you're free to walk away as well.
Sure, let's give him a coin.
He doesn't even acknowledge the coin. Imagine Nox Nidrashen. He mutters over and over. You probably won't be able to communicate with him, no matter how long you strain your concentration.
Oh boy. Poor man. Surely that doesn't have any meaning at all. But anyway, that's gonna be the end of today's stream. Thank you everyone so much for joining me. Thank you everyone for joining me through the ending of Cult of the Lamb. So yeah, Wednesday we're gonna continue with this. I really like this game, so hopefully you can enjoy it too. Tomorrow I'm gonna be on YouTube continuing with Castlevania. Just basically the last part, not the ending, but I'm gonna try to do the Coliseum, which is not gonna be easy at all, but I mean I'm gonna try it. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of today's stream, everyone. See you tomorrow or see you Wednesday, and don't forget, you're beautiful. Bye.